I'm Marvin Mizell. I have been an attorney for 22 years, and I will talk about that a bit more in detail later. But as for my biography, I grew up in Southeast San Diego in an area called Skyline. It's a working class community in San Diego. From there, I went to a high school called Moores High School. And from Moores, I went to San Diego State University. When I went to San Diego State, I was a history major. I went there with the thought that I would be a history teacher. And as I went through my classes, I realized I'd rather be a sociology major. I switched to that. And as I was going through that, I realized that I could actually become an attorney. And I had two professors help me actually come to that realization, one of which was Dr. Shirley Weber, who's now the Secretary of State. And, once they talked to me, after they talked to me, I looked into the legal books, and that was before the internet, if you can believe it. And I saw I could actually go. So I applied, and I ended up going to UC Davis. Now, I'll talk a little bit more about that in the other question, but the other part of my biography is, just the fact, my family, my mother is still with us. My other family that I grew up with, my father has passed on as my brother, unfortunately, Keith. And, I have a beautiful wife now and a son who is in college. And so that's my biography. Well, the first part is easy to answer. I didn't know any Black lawyers. As far as I know, the only people that I knew who were lawyers were on TV. I mean, I might date myself, but they were like Perry Mason or someone like that on TV. I mean, I didn't know any Black lawyers. As to how or why I became a lawyer, some of it was just good fortune. When I went to San Diego State University, I was, as I said, going to be a history teacher. I ended up going to law school because I was urged to by two professors. When I went to UC Davis. And when I went to UC Davis Law School, it was very challenging to me. Even though I'd done very well at San Diego State, my first year was very challenging. I didn't do very well. I thought very seriously about dropping out, but I didn't. It was very important to me to continue on. I felt I had a great opportunity as a black man, and I did not want to give up that opportunity. So I went back, and I did a lot better in my last 2 years there. And I think I like to talk about that because I know a lot of people think about not being able to go on, and you have to be able to persevere. The other challenge that I faced was when I took the bar. The first time I took the bar, I did not do well, even though I studied very hard for it. And it was a very painful thing. And once again, I had to think about, what do I do now? Do I just give up? Do I throw my hands up? I spent a year working at a phone, back then, a cell phone company. It was called Sprint PCS, and that's gone by years now. But I worked there for a year before I could take the bar exam again. And then once I took the bar exam, I actually passed the second time, even though while I was taking it, I was thinking it wasn't going well. Okay, well, I am a Deputy Attorney General 5. I work in the criminal division of the California Attorney General's office in a section called Appeals, Writs, and Trials. We handle the felony appeals for the state of California that come from the DA's offices. Now for me in my office in San Diego, we handle, those cases from Orange County, from San Diego County, San Bernardino, Riverside, Inyo, and Imperial counties. And the way that this came about was that when I was in law school, I was already interested in criminal law, and I was interested in employment law. And I ended up clerking at the Attorney General's office in Sacramento. I guess that would have been 1995, 1996, in the government section. And, from that, when I returned to San Diego, after I returned to San Diego, I got an interview with the Attorney General's office, and I was fortunate enough to be hired in appeals, writs, and trials, and that was in 1998. And that's how I became the type of attorney I am right now. The first part of how of answering that question goes to me being an African American and bringing that diverse background into decision making process on cases. And without me being in the office or without other African Americans being in the office, that perspective would not be there. When you're looking at certain cases, how it might be perceived, whether or not that will be seen as equal justice, and whether or not, in fact, it is equal justice. That would be the first part, of my long career in the California Attorney General's office. And whether or not, and there have been times, with specific cases, I have expressed, my feelings on those cases, whether I'm comfortable or not with that. And I think, given my long career, I think, at times that advice has been heeded. The second part of it is I hope that I've been able to help with the overall reputation of the office, which would hopefully lead people of color to want to work there. I was fortunate enough to be the president of the San Diego County Bar Association in 2012. I'm the only Black male who's ever been president of the San Diego County Bar. And I say that not as bragging, but I say it just as good fortune for me and hopefully something that will inspire others to want to not only do that, but hopefully work for the office that I work for. And, being able to do that was important. And, I received other awards along the way that might help. I know I got the Citizenship Award from Vice President Kamala Harris, who at the time was the Attorney General of the state of California. And hopefully, again, that was for working hard in the legal community. And hopefully that will inspire people to want to work for my office. So, those two things, offering that perspective and hopefully bringing about a higher reputation in the office so that people of color will want to work there. Number one, if you think that you want to be a lawyer, if you can make contact with lawyers and really find out what it is that they do day to day, that is extremely important. Because anyone knows law school is very expensive. So you need to know that you really want to go down this road to be in this profession. That is very important. I can't just give one. Number two, the second thing is it's just your skills. You need writing skills, logic skills, and speaking skills. Those are the things that you're going to need as a lawyer. So anything you can do to improve those things will help you along the way. And so, I can't really give examples of classes, but, your reasoning, your logic, your writing, your speaking, public speaking, anything in those realms are going to help you. And the last thing is just, the belief that you can do it. There is a terrible dearth of lawyers of color, and that has not changed in the 22, 23 years that I've been doing this. We have gone a whole nother generation and we're still having the same conversation. And that conversation is not going to change, without a lot of changes in society, but specifically speaking to those who want to be lawyers. Number one, you have to believe that this is something you can do and that you have to be willing to work every single day towards making this happen for yourself, so that we can get to the point where we have a true diverse legal profession so that people really do feel that they are getting equal justice.